Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us this morning, this afternoon, whatever time it is for you. We really appreciate you taking some time out of your day to learn a little bit more about ChipPath with us. So I will kick us off. My name is Alex Winslow. I am the hub manager for the NNME. Today, you're going to meet several members of the NNME and Semi Foundation teams. But we're all here today because we all share a common mission, connecting learners and job seekers to roles in the microelectronics industry. And so the intention for today is that it will be practical and tangible and not theoretical. We want this to be something that you can take back to your students, to the folks you work with who are looking for jobs, and something that they can use immediately. So today we're going to focus on how referral partners fit into the talent ecosystem, and how ChipPath can support your efforts. So you'll see a live demo today from our partners at Future Fit AI, focused on how to assist individuals as they explore education, training, career options. And then we'll talk a little bit more about next steps in terms of getting folks connected to these roles. And I will turn it over to my colleague, Jessica.
Thank you, Alex. Hi, everyone. I am Jessica Centeno. I serve as the National Director of the National Network for Microelectronics Education, or NNME. Say it fast 3 times and you'll get a special prize. I just want to start by saying how excited I am to be here today, and thank you all for the work that you do as workforce leaders, educators, community partners, and even job seekers, who are all central to how people discover, prepare, and ultimately access meaningful careers in the semiconductor industry. And so I want to ground us in this moment that we're in as an industry and as a talent system, and why NNME and tools like ChipPath are so critical right now. At NNME, our mission is to bring alignment to the semiconductor talent ecosystem across education, workforce systems, and industry. And we are focused on building a coordinated national talent pipeline that works for learners, workers, and employers alike. And I'm especially excited today about ChipPath because it's what represents what it looks like when that national coordination turns into real practical tools for job seekers and industry. And it was developed to allow individuals to explore and move through and enter semiconductor career pathways. And we're at such a critical moment for the semiconductor industry. As you can see, the industry is scaling rapidly, and the demand for skilled talent just continues to rise very quickly. Almost feels like it's tough for us to keep up with the pace. And what makes this moment different is not just the volume of opportunity, but the need for a coordinated workforce and education system where industry is involved. And that's why the NNME has gotten started, and will soon be announcing its 4 inaugural nodes sometime, hopefully in April. And we will also be coordinating that national pipeline of talent. And ChipPath is the on-ramp to that. It's going to help us activate a tool in which individuals can engage with real jobs that are available, and learn more about the industry. And it's been designed to serve a very broad, diverse talent. Excited about it. It's going to support students who are exploring careers. It's going to support adult learners, career changers, incumbent workers, people who are seeking advancement within industry, or even individuals who've not been exposed to the industry can come onto the website to learn. So we're really excited about that, and particularly the number of job openings that the system includes as well. So if you could advance to the next slide. So with ChipPath having over 135,000 live openings that are sourced directly from semi-member companies across the microelectronics supply chain. This reflects the NNME's focus on grounding talent pathways and real employer demand. And we've all experienced and have heard about the challenge and the gap of talent that businesses are experiencing across the United States. One of the biggest barriers that we're hearing in workforce systems, particularly in the semiconductor industry, is that job seekers can't find the full landscape of opportunity, the jobs that are available, the different levels, and the skills, the knowledge, and the abilities that a lot of our employers are looking to fill. And so ChipPath is going to meet that demand. It helps to make the semiconductor labor market visible and accessible at a national level. And it's not just a job board, it's really cool. It offers AI-driven tools for career exploration, resume building, and training pathway alignment. And these are features that were intentionally designed to support our national goals of guiding individuals from interest to preparation in employment and careers within the semiconductor industry, but they're really going to underpin the goals of the NNME and the nodes that we bring on board. And so partners can refer individuals knowing that ChipPath is going to connect them to real jobs, real opportunities with real employers. And we're also going to help them understand what are those skills, credentials, and training steps that are going to align with those roles to qualify them for those employment opportunities. And so with that framing, I'm going to pass it along to Melinda, my colleague, who's going to walk us through Referral Partners 101.
Awesome. Thank you, Jessica, for kicking us off and kind of setting the stage for what we're all here to learn a little bit more about. And that's how you, as our partners, our education providers, workforce, anybody who is coming into contact with job seekers, with students, with people who could benefit from learning about and finding opportunity within the semiconductor industry. So this kind of outlines how this ecosystem can benefit you as an organization, how it can benefit those who you're working with every day. So whether you're just looking for another resource that you can refer people to where you know they're going to get support for their resume, for training recommendations, for one of those 135,000 career or job openings that are out there right now. Or if you really want to take this a step further and be a formal referral partner with us, so that you can kind of track learners, track job seekers that you're working with, this is you're in the right place, and we're going to show you kind of the benefits of what you can do there. So this platform that we built with our friends at Future Fit AI that we'll show you in just a few moments is encompassing all semi-member organizations within the US. So that's where those job openings are coming from, directly from those sources. So it's openings across the board from engineers, from technicians, even into the HR and support functions that are in these companies. It also has a whole lot of training programs and education programs that that your job seekers or learners could be looking at getting into. And side note, if you are a training provider or education provider and you would like your programs added in there, if they're not already, we'll definitely be sending out information of how we can get that included in there. There's also a whole lot of tools for them to be able to get assistance on their resume, build their skill profile and inventory, look at different career pathways and save them so that they can have tangible goals and career paths that they can continue to work towards. So the way we're kind of envisioning this referral partner pipeline is these are our trusted organizations. You're working with these students and job seekers every day. And, it could be really beneficial to have a direct point where you can say, we're going to have you create an account in ChipPath, and you're going to go through, the onboarding stages that just guide every single user through that. And Dana's going to walk us through what that looks like. And then as a referral partner, if you opted to have a specific link for your organization, then you'll be able to follow those users through their journey. You can see what training programs they're receiving. You can see, if they're completing their onboarding and how often they're engaging in the platform, and ultimately to to reaching their career goals. So there's a lot of cool pathways within the platform, and a lot of resources that you can make available to those that you're working for. We have it listed out here, the different organizations that would be ideal or would likely, be considered a referral partner. It's certainly not exclusive, but this is who we're primarily thinking of when we're imagining who those partner organizations would likely be. Getting started, the kinds of things that we would do to get that moving is if you're working with individuals in a classroom setting or one-on-one, you could have our general ChipPath link either through a QR. We have materials we could even mail you so that you would have things to hand out and get people started. Or if you wanted that specific QR for your organization, we'll have a Google little form for you to complete so that we can get you onboarded as one of those partners, and more information on how to track more of those onboarding processes and the outcomes for the individuals that you're referring in there. Our team at the NNME can help with onboarding your staff or your counselors who would want to be following those individuals through that program, but also just support for resources if you're, finding things that users are coming across within ChipPath, or if you have suggestions. This is a group that only wants to make this as easy and supportive as possible for all of your students and job seekers, and as easy for all of you to help get more people into this microelectronics industry with us. I see a question in the chat around public workforce agencies. It's very broad, so we're not trying to be super prescriptive on what that could include or not include there. Okay, so I'm going to pass this over to Dana. Let me stop sharing here so you can share it on your end, and we'll do the demo.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Melinda. And hello, everybody. My name is Dana Nelson. I'm the Director of Customer Success at FutureFit AI, which is the technology partner for ChipPath. And I have the pleasure today of ultimately kind of bringing this to life to you all by walking through the platform live here. So as Melinda described, there are a lot of bells and whistles and ways in which the students and job seekers that you interact with could really benefit from this platform. So we're going to touch on each of those today, starting with the onboarding process. So when you get directed to a specific QR code or the general registration link, it's going to take you here to ChipPath, where to register, all you have to do is enter your email and create a password, and you'll be ready to go. So here, I'm going to go ahead and press this. The next step here is going to be entering a little bit of information about myself. I can put in my name. For the sake of today, I'm going to be Jonathan Smith. And I'm looking for some warmer weather than where I am now, so I'm going to put in San Francisco. And I'm going to hit the next button. Before I do, I will call out the reason that we collect location, that this platform is serving individuals across the country, but we know that the job search can be local. And so we make sure that we are taking into account somebody's location to provide them specific recommendations for demand, salary in their area that they're currently searching, as well as to give them starting targeted recommendations based off of their locale. They're, of course, welcome to change this at any time or open it up to broader searches across the US if they're willing to relocate for the right educational opportunity or job opportunity. Now, here's where the fun really gets started. The platform is going to ask you to share a little bit more about yourself so we can personalize this experience for you. There's a few ways in which you can do that. The first is through uploading your resume, but we recognize that not everybody has a resume handy or maybe not one created yet. And so we do have a few other options. You can upload your experience manually, or if you're new to the workforce, you can select the third option and simply put in your highest form of education obtained to date. For today, I am going to upload a resume so you can see that power in action. I'm simply going to choose my resume from my files here, and you'll see the system goes to work, reading that resume, extracting work experience, looking for any educations or certifications included, and ultimately creating a unique skills profile for me based off of that history. You'll get a quick preview of what was extracted from that resume. So for me as Jonathan Smith here, I could see that I have had an internship in software development. I was also an undergraduate research assistant at the Berkeley Nanoelectronics Lab, and I just received my bachelor's degree in computer science from Berkeley. The last step in the onboarding process is to complete the onboarding form. So first they can enter their zip code, which will be more unique than the one I'm putting in here now. They optionally can put in their phone number, but not required. We do ask what their familiarity with the semiconductor industry is, whether they're just starting to learn about it, have general understanding, or have pretty advanced knowledge of the space. There are a few demographic questions, but those are all optional. We do ask actually for age, in part because that helps us better understand where they might be in terms of the types of support that they need, especially if they're in the youth side, those types of supports. Highest level of education is also helpful for us. So for Jonathan, we're going to select bachelor's degree. We also ask, whether they're a job seeker or they are currently a student. Since Jonathan just graduated, I'm going to say that he's now a job seeker. These last two questions are also optional. I will note that the last one can be really helpful for our partners, particularly if you end up being a partner who kind of chooses to have access in the back end to better support individuals on a more hands-on basis. We actually tag individuals based off of their answers to this question. So for example, if you notice that somebody is a veteran that you're working with, you might want to direct them towards veteran-specific resources. We also have the ability to automate some of those supports. So we make sure that we are really targeting individuals with those personalized assistance. I'm going to get started here, and we will be landing on the homepage in just a moment. When I first land, I will have a welcome tour that really allows me to become familiar with the different parts of ChipPath. You'll see that I'm in a little bubble here. Since you have me live today, I'm going to exit out of this. Right away, Jonathan is going to see his roadmap, which is a list of next steps that really help guide Jonathan if he needs more assistance with navigating the platform. On this homepage, you can also scroll to start right away getting personalized recommendations for him that are in the semiconductor space. You can always save these or click in to learn more. There are a set of job tools, which I'm going to get to towards the end of the demo, so stay tuned on the use of these. You can right away explore recommended jobs and learnings based off of your onboarded profile. I'm going to show you how that profile is saved in this ChipPath platform by going to the Career Passport. This is ultimately where Jonathan can go to see his past experience and the skills that were associated with that experience. Essentially, our technology utilizes LLM technologies to be able to ultimately associate skills to specific experiences, as well as education, and if Jonathan had any, credentials or licenses. This again helps us get a holistic understanding of the capabilities that an individual brings to the job market. An individual could also review the resume they uploaded or generate a new resume based off of their career passport utilizing our AI resume generator. Essentially, in less than 10 seconds, you'll get a draft resume that you can download as a Word document, continue to refine, and ultimately leverage when you're applying out to opportunities. And to quickly show us the skills profile here, this is ultimately where an individual can go to see the breakdown of their skills based off of, again, their profile. These skills are parsed based off of proficiency level. You'll see that based off of the types of roles they've held before, types of education, different skills are going to be bucketed into advanced, intermediate, or beginner. We also split them between technical and foundational skills. So technical are those hard skills, foundational, softer. An individual does have control over this, so they can always drag and drop to have skills change into different categories. And they can add any new skills that are already included here in their skills profile by utilizing this bar down below. For example, if I want to add in Scrum here, you can see it's going to come up in the dropdown. We have an ontology of over 30,000 skills. And you can see here that Scrum was just added here. I could keep it into my intermediate section or always drag and drop it if needed. I'm going to take us on back to the home page because I want to dive into the roadmap. So it is previewed on the home page, but I can also click View All here. It'll take me to the next step section, which I could have also navigated to utilizing the top hand navigation bar. You'll see here that as I continue to scroll, there will be different steps that I can go to that help guide me in this process. The first is to explore career paths. If I go over to the careers section, you'll see that I am able to see different types of career pathways in the semiconductor and microelectronics industry that potentially align with my pre-existing skills profile and in general career passport. We actually give you match scores based off of your skills overlap. And so you could see a few recommendations here. If I'd like, I could bookmark any to come back to later. As I continue to scroll here, you'll see that there are quite a few options. I'm going to click onto software developer. When I click learn more, it is going to give me a short description of a software developer, and it's going to show me the skills that are commonly needed to excel in this particular pathway. Any skill that is filled in with purple with a check mark are skills that I already have in my skills profile, and they're up to the kind of proficiency level commonly needed again for this role. Any that are in light purple are skills that I have, but maybe are at a lower proficiency level than needed, meaning I need to make them a little bit more robust. Any that are not filled in purple are skills that are not yet included in my profile, and perhaps I need to develop further. I can always explore similar careers down below, and I will note that we also include salary and demand data. This is actually targeted specifically for the region that this user is in. So in this case, this is information pertaining to the San Francisco metro area. I'm going to select this career path so that you can see how once an individual has kind of their career destination in mind, we will start recommending them upskilling pathways to fill that gap between where they are now and where they need to be in order to truly excel in that role. And so here's where you'll be able to see some different upskilling opportunities, and I could search them in full in the learning section, which you can see I just got to by utilizing this top navigation bar. Here I will see those recommended courses yet again based off of my career that I just selected and the skills gap that I might have with that particular career. I can click in to learn more about particular opportunities, the relevant skills for that particular training program or educational degree. And I can save it if I'm interested, and they'll be in the My Learning section. If I use the search bar or click to view all courses, you'll note that we have additional filters that individuals can use to better find the learning that's best fit for what they're looking for. And so those include things like the delivery type, if it's a free training, the language it's taught in, the course type, and even the provider. Second time, I'm going to move us on along to resources. Resources is really a suite of supports that are either targeted specifically for making them more aware of the semiconductor space, or in general help with them with job readiness search. And so I can see here there's a chip-in documentary, but I can also see if I need to get my GED, there's a resource for that. You can use the search bar up here. Let's say I need something related to interviews. I could type that in and see the types of resources that could be helpful for me in this category. And once more, utilize these filters on the side. Last section I'm going to take us to is the job section. And so we've heard from the identity team how important it is for us to make sure we're connecting people with in-demand roles from our employer network. This is where that really comes to life. So we're taking that individual's career path that they selected and starting to right away recommend them opportunities that actually align with their profiles. So unlike a standard job board, these rank order the positions based on how well they align with your skills, experience, and education. You can always change your search term, but let's start with these ones. I continue to scroll here. I can review different options and can see that I have a fairly good match. Again, this match can really be generated based off of your skills, experience, and so on. Here I can see how those skills line up. if there's anything that I actually have experience in or is something that ideally would be in my skills profile already, I can press the plus sign next to any of those skills and it will be automatically added to my skills profile. You might note that the background is updating, and that's because we're recalculating this user's match score against all of the different jobs that we have available here to again rank order them based off of their new skills profile. I could save this job. I could also click out directly to apply here, and our employer partners will then be able to field this applicant. If I want to search for maybe an internship, if I was still in school, I could search software internship. You'll then see that there will be opportunities that arise for me, as well as some additional filters that appear once I conduct a search. So again, I could click in to learn more. I could save this position. I can change my search radius, change when the particular position was posted, the location type, seniority level, and the opportunity type. If I want to further ensure that these are all internships, I can do so here. I can search by company, I can change my location search. If I'm interested in relocating or I'm open to internships across the US or jobs across the US, I can do that here. I am going to show you the job tracker. Once you save jobs, they're available here for you to track your progress again. You can say whether or not you've applied to different positions, are interviewing, or even have been hired. I'm going to take us back to the homepage right now, where I'm just going to quickly show you or summarize the job tools. So our team knows how important and significant generative AI has been, and particularly to really help provide an extra layer of assistance to students and job seekers to be career ready. That's why we've added resume review and interview prep as job tools, in addition to the resume generator and job tracker that I've already showed you. Each of these essentially are AI chat-based tools that allow individuals to, in the case of resume review, check their existing resume, improve its polish, change up wording that needs to be improved, and also make it ready for applicant tracking systems to more properly parse them. We also can tailor the resume to a specific job posting. So if you have your standard resume but want to make it more unique for whatever job you're applying to, we can help you do that in a streamlined way, utilizing our AI capabilities. Interview prep. Similarly, you can get general interview prep. What is the best type of questions to ask in a general interview? How should I structure my introduction and pitch? Or you can prepare also for a specific job interview. What specific questions would an interviewer for this role ask? Again, this layer of assistance really can be helpful for you all, especially if you are a provider who has a lot on your plate where you're coaching multiple individuals and there's potential for them to do this self-serve. These are really, really helpful tools. I know there's been some questions in the chat, and I'm going to potentially pause here so that we can I can get off of screen share and help answer some of those, time permitted. Last thing I'll just mention is that we do have our employer network, which over time might be able to access directly recommended candidates from ChipPath, which is another huge value add for individuals who register here. Essentially, we have something called the employer portal, and that's where, again, our employer partners can really tap into this talent. So I encourage you to get your networks on here. I'm going to pass the screen share back over to Melinda.
Thank you, Dana. I think there was, let's see if there was any questions that I wanted you to, I think we'll just cover those all together. One second, let me pull this up here. There we go. Okay. Thank you so much for doing that. First of all, every single time I get into ChipPath, I love some of the new updates, added open positions in there, different training opportunities that have been updated. It's continuously evolving and has been such an exciting project to be working on with you. So thank you for sharing that with everyone. So these next, I think we have one or two slides maybe, it's just kind of where do we go from here? So as a referral partner, I mentioned before, There's a couple of ways we can go about it. You can simply share out, ChipPath with those you're working with your students, your job seekers, your um, team members, whoever you feel like you want to. If you would like to request a specific QR code for your organization to be able to track your organization's users and participants a little bit more closely and have report capabilities and things, there is a Google form I just dropped in the chat there. You can complete that and we'll reach out and get all of that set up with you. Or even if you're just curious if that is the right option for you to consider from here, please complete that. We'll reach out. We can go over, what that would look like and what recommendations we have for what could be the best option for you. Let me see here. As we get into the Q&A portion, if you're curious about specific scenarios that make sense, how this could fit in. I know there's quite a few questions already coming in, so I think we'll just get started with some of those. You can use the Q&A feature. That's a little bit easier for us to filter through, but I will be kind of going through the chat as well, just to make sure we didn't miss anything. Let's see here. Pull all of it up.
So Melinda, while you go through those, I was
Yeah,
monitoring the Q&A and we have several questions from
thank you.
employers about how they can engage with ChipPath and how they can ensure that their open job postings are available on the ChipPath platform. So Dana, could you speak to that a little bit?
Absolutely. So the way in which we are showing employer jobs inside ChipPath is that we're actually scraping those jobs directly from employer websites and or pulling from job aggregators like LinkedIn and Indeed. So essentially, once you know, our official employer partner of NME and Semi, once they alert us to that, we essentially can add your domain into our scraping technology that does run every 24 hours. So that means each day we make sure that we go through the process of archiving any jobs that you fill, adding in new ones, and making sure there are no duplicates.
Yeah, and I'll just add that the employers that are currently listed in there, there's a little over 1,100, I think, employers. Currently, those are all US-based semi-members. So if you are an employer, happens to be on the call or work with employers, if they are a semi-member, which is the trade association affiliation of semi here, all of those employers are automatically added in there. And we've been, cross-checking and making sure that's being updated and added into there if we have additional members that come on, for instance. Let's see. Alex, did you see anything else that you
Yes,
wanted us to start with?
I have one quick one as well that I can answer quickly. Two folks asked if we can clarify what POC means in the referral form, and it's just point of
Mm.
contact. So just whoever the right
Yeah.
person is for us to be speaking with, we just want to know their name, their email address, that sort of thing. We understand that many of you are at large organizations where there's a lot of people who are involved in this work, so we just want to make sure that we collect the correct information.
Okay, let's see. Kind of scroll through here and see. Um,
Oh, here's another question.
yeah.
And Dana, I think this one would be for you. Is it possible to filter jobs by employer rather than by distance, time frame, location type, seniority, and opportunity type?
Yes, there is an employer filter, so you can utilize that. It's right next to the keyword search. So if you put your employer name in there that you're searching for, that will narrow down those results.
Yeah, and I saw some questions regarding location as well. It
Mhm.
is going to default to the location that was initially submitted, but there is an option if you go to browse all jobs that you can adjust those location filters to a different city, a different state, the entire US if you wanted to. Um, so it doesn't limit it once you open up those search filters.
Thank you. And then where are the training programs and courses that are listed within ShipPath coming from? And how would a training or certificate opportunity get added to ChipPath?
Yeah, so we initially sent out a request to education partners that had submitted LOIs or engaged with the NNME program in general to start gathering all of that. And then Future Fit AI had quite a few resources that we added into their, I would say, email us. If I'll drop my email in the chat and we can absolutely work with you to get any additional programs added in there. We want that to be as comprehensive as possible. Definitely growing.
Thank you. And another question that came through was, oh, sorry, I just lost it, is how do we measure student enrollment and usage on with ChipPath?
Dana, do you want to address that or
Yeah.
I can jump in?
Sure, yeah, we do have some leading indicators. So we do track click rates. So when individuals are exploring different learning opportunities and then clicking out on that link to ultimately go to the provider page is all information that we kind of track and utilize as again, a leading indicator to enrollment. Ultimately, if a student does go on to enroll in that program and complete that, that data does lie with a lot of our training provider partners. I think we are looking more long term to have better feedback loops so that we can then have that data circulate back so that we can really be tracking individuals' progression along this funnel from registration, career exploration, training, and ultimately employment.
Thank you. Yeah, and I think the second question was who will be invited to use this. We wanted to keep this as broad as possible. So high school students, college students, young adults, career changers, veterans, anyone who's looking to explore what career opportunities could be a good fit for them in this industry is our goal.
And then, Dana, you mentioned click rates. Are applicants tracked as well?
Yeah, so for job applications, yes, we do track click rates out to apply to jobs. We also pass through what are called UTM codes and source queries to our employer partners so that if they're set up a process within their applicant tracking system, they can easily see what individual candidates came from CHIP. And so that is something that we have, again, intentions of leveraging. So we have full visibility into not only if somebody clicked to apply, but actually submitted those applications.
Thank you. And I've gotten lots of questions about the usability of ChipPath as it relates to needing to pay for specific features or needing to pay to unlock anything or anything like that. Dana, could you talk about that a little bit?
Sure, this platform is public. You do not need to pay for anything inside of it, whether it's a job tool or anything. It's all inclusive. I will say that in the learning section, I think I saw that there was a question on what does it mean if a learning is paid? That means it's at cost. So maybe it is a university program that has a fee correlated with enrollment. That is where it would be marked as paid. Of course, there might be financial resources available, and so would encourage individuals to look at those funding opportunities, but that helps individual narrow down whether it's a free online training versus something that they would have to invest their resources into.
Thanks, Dana. And then we just got another question that I can answer. And the question is, does NNME work on any strategy to create more awareness amongst the public, especially K-12 students and their parents about pathways into the semiconductor industry? And a big part of the NNME and our work is running a national awareness campaign in support of jobs in the semiconductor industry. So we want to make sure that Americans all over know about these jobs, know about the benefits of these jobs, and know about the different pathways into them. A big part of this is, of course, connected to the nodes. And so once the nodes are selected and announced, we'll really be able to launch into this awareness campaign so that we're able to get as many people as possible interested in the semiconductor industry and get them into these really important, really great jobs.
The questions
Sorry.
around kind of level of positions. Um, this is designed to have entry level, intermediate level, um, to include postdoc and beyond. There is a little bit more of a focus on the education, like informing people about the industry side of it. But the roles and everything that are included in there are inclusive of all of that. The training programs can include master's, PhD level degrees as well. There just may be more limited ones in there right now as we're still building that database out.
So that has really been all of the questions we've received, but we still have time. So if folks have additional questions, please feel free to throw them in the chat or the Q&A.
Maybe one thing just to share quickly while we still have some time in the call, we're able to show it just due to time today, but when it comes to the portal and those who want to be referral partners, there is a back end to the platform where you can provide additional support. And so this is something that we might dive into deeper based off of, you know, reflections in that form that was included in the chat.
Thanks, Dana. Oh, and another question was, is there a public-facing version of the skills and workforce map that educators can utilize without having to save student data? Or is everybody required to create a login?
Currently, to access a lot of what's within ChipPath, yes, you do need to create a login. Both Semi Foundation and NME, we are working on building resources though for providers to be able to, have career maps, have tools to be able to work with students outside of using the full platform.
And then we had a couple folks who I think joined a little late. And so, Melinda, could you please define the term referral partner as well as public workforce agencies that we're referring
Yeah,
to?
yeah. So referral partners, um, we're looking at people who, number one, can help, share ChipPath with as many students and job seekers as you are willing and able to do. So you can share out the direct link. We have flyers, we have postcards we can send you if you want to have physical ways to share with those you're working with. But also we have more formal referral partners where we can provide your organization a direct QR link where your users would be affiliated with your organization, and we would be able to track those users, provide more data around anyone who comes through ChipPath from that direct link, to be able to, show more data and results of their pathway through that. Um, in regards to the workforce organizations, we do keep that a little bit loose or vague, because that can mean, a regional or local workforce partnership organization. That could be a statewide organization. That could also be, a team who's working with talent in another capacity. So if you're not sure if this makes sense for you, we would still welcome you to complete that Google form. We'd be happy to meet with you one-on-one and go over what it all looks like and determine together whether that would make sense for you to have kind of that official status or or if we just keep things a little bit more broad. And I do see questions whether this replaces the Semi Careers database. So careers.semi.org site is what I'm assuming you're referring to. And yes, it does. So we did fold in most of that information into ChipPath. So if you go to careers.semi.org, it's going to kick you right into ChipPath now.
And then I've seen a couple more questions come in asking again about the cost associated with ChipPath. And so I just want to reiterate that ChipPath is a free tool
Yeah.
for folks to use. There's no cost associated with it. I began this webinar by saying that we all have the same goal here, and it's to connect students and learners and job seekers with life-sustaining work in the microelectronics industry. And so this is a tool to do that. And by making it free to everyone, that's how we are able to accomplish that.
Absolutely.
And yes, a copy of this presentation will be shared.
Yeah, and we do have tools, toolkits, quick start guides, things that we can include when we share this out. That way you can walk your students or participants through the onboarding and all the fun features in there.
So it doesn't look like we have any more questions. So I think, Melinda, if you'd like to advance to the next slide. So, we've covered a lot here today, and we're really excited for you all to get into ChipPath and start using it. As we've shared, we have a lot of employers who are already engaged. And we're excited to get more job seekers engaged as well. So you can start sharing ChipPath with your students or the folks you work with who are seeking jobs immediately. No need to wait. We've shared the link in the chat a couple times, and then we will also share it as well with attendees after the fact. If you're interested in becoming a referral partner, please complete the Google form. We will also share that as well. And it has also been shared in the chat. And altogether, we're going to ensure that more learners and job seekers are connected to real careers in the semiconductor industry. So thank you all so much for your time, and thank you for spending some time with us this afternoon. And we look forward to having you all join as referral partners and hearing your feedback on the platform. So thank you all so much for your time, and we look forward to working together.